Welcome to this video review. Today I'm going to talk about a Steiner Ranger 8 3 to 24 by 56 rifle scope. This is a new rifle scope introduced in 2022. So I would say it's almost like a deja vu, because now Steiner is again producing rifle scopes from I would say above 2,000 euros. And those of you who are more into the whole topic of rifle scopes, you probably remember that around 10 years ago, Steiner introduced the Night Hunter series of rifle scopes, which were again also priced around 2,500 euros. They were a little bit pricier than this scope, which I have here today. It is also true that there was a lot of inflation in the last 10 years. Look at the prices of the cars, where they were 10 years ago and now. So basically, if we would say that Steiner would go into the highest class with these scopes, then they would need to cost more than 3,000 euros. But still, as you probably know, Steiner is one of the biggest producers of binoculars in Europe. They were formed in 1947. Later, they joined the Beretta Group. So now they are in this huge conglomeration of different hunting and shooting producers like Sako, Tika, Boris, and others. And if we talk about Steiner rifle scopes, so the Night Hunters 10 years ago were the first one. They were not really successful. They were too expensive, and basically Zeiss and Swarovski and Leica at that time were, I would say, more competitive than Steiner. So later, Steiner in 2017, they took another approach. So they did the Ranger series with a 4x zoom and a price point of around 1,000 euros. And they were really massively successful. Last year, in 2021, they came out with the Ranger 4 series. So they refreshed the whole Ranger series of scopes. And soon after, they followed with the Ranger 6 rifle scopes, which were a great hit. So Ranger 4 are basically the best buy in their class. I would say that only Zeiss Conquest V4 is the only real competitor. Maybe also Minox a little bit, but it's more expensive. And for the Ranger 6, around 1,500 euros, they're even stronger at their game. So I think that Ranger 6 is probably a best buy scope for 1,500 euros, normally for hunting application. So we were all very excited when we heard about the Ranger 8, and we wanted to see what's behind them. So this is the 3 to 24 by 56 model, so a low light model with also capabilities for a little bit of long range shooting. It's as you probably are able to see, in design, it's really, I would say, similar to Ranger 6 and Ranger 4. So you immediately, even if there will be no Steiner logo, you would see that this is a Steiner scope. Even though this one is quite long, at 375 millimeters, almost 38 centimeters, 30 millimeter central tube, normally nitrogen proof, shock proof to any caliber. You can use it from minus 25 to plus 65 degrees Celsius. It has a side focus turret, and you probably see these two small, like ball bearings, but really small. So they have marked 100 meters. The side turret also hosts the illumination system with 11 different settings. I will talk a little bit more about the illumination when I talk about the reticle. The scope is made in the USA, and it comes with 10 years warranty. It also has a really interesting price point of, I would say, 1,900 euros for the base model with a capped turret. So this one, you see, capped turret. This is not identical model, but still the capped turrets are completely identical. Or you can pay 150 euros more, so 2,050 for this one, which has a BDC turret. All in all, I would say really nice fit and finish, nice quality, and a really interesting price point, because there is no other European premium zoom, 8 times zoom scope in a range of 2,000 euros. It is true also that I will speak about optical performance a little bit later, that they are not going after Zeiss and Swarovski with this scope, so they basically invented a class of their own. Let's speak about the reticle. The reticle, there is only one option. It's a German 4 reticle with an optical fiber inside, so the illumination is really nice. It's daytime bright and also nicely adjustable in low light situations, as you're able to see here, all the way to 6 time magnification. You can have low light illumination, and then afterwards it's daytime bright illumination. It's a bit thick reticle, which I think is a good point, because it's going to be easier to use it when there is not enough light. So in this respect, I would say it's better to go with a little bit thicker reticle than with those thin reticles that I would say Leica and Swarovski are famous for. For the turrets, the turrets have 1 centimeter clicks. They are single turn turrets, which is really unusual. They have really nice hard zero stop. So here, and the other way, I apologize, here. It's a hard zero stop, and they're really easy to zero. You just remove these 2 screws. I think we will have an additional video for this, how this is done. And I would say for this price point, great turrets. You also get 3 different rings up here, where you're able to choose on which distance you are setting the turret. Really nice, almost unimaginable for 150 euros that you get such a good turrets. So let's talk about optics. So it starts with a 3 time magnification, goes to 24, and has a 56 millimeter objective lens. And I would say this is a low light model. Even though at 24 or even at 20 with a BDC turret, it offers you quite substantial long range capabilities. So the field of view is approximately 12.6 meters and 100 meters at 3 times magnification, which is decent. And like I said at the beginning, this scope is not designed to go against Swarovski Z8 or Zeiss V8 or similar scopes or Laser Infinity. They are 1/3 cheaper. So this is 2,000 euros scope. It's not a 3,000 euros scope. And when you look through it, you will see immediately that the field of view is not, I would say, equally impressive than, let's say, on a Zeiss V8 or a Swarovski Z8. It's just a different scope, a different price class. Still, it has light transmission of, they claim, above 90% in I would say, majority of wavelengths, and it has an eye relief of 95 millimeters, so almost 10 centimeters. Also, the eye box, it's acceptable, but not to be compared with the top premium class. Those scopes have a much better eye box normally. What to say else? I would say that if we go directly into my last part where I speak about positives and negatives, so sweet and sour, and I will also talk a little bit about the competitors, so that you will see against who this scope is pitching. So first of all, the positives are definitely the build quality. It's really nice. The BDC turret with these 3 rings, which have a marking of 2, 3 and 4 for 200, 300 and 400 meters. The BDC is just outstanding for this price point. It's really nice. Again, not to be compared against BDCs, let's say, of Leica, which are 300 euros and more in price. Okay, the illumination system is also very nice with an integrated optical fiber, small, precise, and really nicely adjustable. I also think it's a nice thing that you get lens caps included. That's something very I would say unique, because usually with scopes of this price class you get nothing included. So and what's also true is that this lens caps are usually the first thing that people buy when they buy Ranger 4 or Ranger 6. Here you get them included. It is, however, at the same time needs to be mentioned that the quality of these lens caps is not equal to, let's say, aluminum lens caps of Swarovski, which are not included and which cost more than 200 euros. So that's understandable. So what could have been done better? What's sour with its scope? I would say the field of view. The field of view, everybody would, I would say, would like to have a wider field of view. Normally, it's acceptable at 2,000 euros, but everybody expects that this scope should be closer in terms of optical performance to the let's say Swarovski Z8 or something like that. Edge sharpness is also something what could be improved. It's not bad, it's not even close, but again, compared with top premium optics with 8 times zoom, it's a little bit worse. Normally, you pay 1,000 euros of price premium if you want to have perfect edge sharpness. I also think at 2,000 euros, the fact that these scopes are made in USA, it's again not the best thing. You know that USA is not famous for high quality products really, and it was maybe 50 years ago, not anymore. So I would say for this price class they would be able to produce it also in Europe, because we know that Steiner still produces all their tactical scopes in Europe and they are not that substantially more expensive. I also think the scope is quite long, and because it only has 1.1 meter of internal elevation, I would say you always need a 20 MOA mounts for it, just to be on the safe side if you want to shoot a little bit longer. So now I will go a little bit through the competition, and basically there isn't any real competition, because honestly speaking, the similar Japanese scopes like Delta Optical, GPO and similars, they are 1,300 euros. They stop there. When you look at other premium European producers of similar scopes, usually they have a much lower magnification. The only exception is Zeiss V8, which is 4.8 to 35 by 60, but it's completely different scope and it's cost more than 1,000 euros more. And when you look at the Leica, doesn't have a model with such a high magnification. Blaser has a model 3 to 20 by 50 again, or 4 to 20 by 58. Completely different scopes, 1,000 euros of premium on the price. If you look at Swarovski, they have Z8i 3.5 to 28 by 50. Very light scope, meant for long range in the mountains for chamois hunts and similar. Completely different scope, more than 1,000 euros more expensive, and normally optical is superior to this one, but with a 50mm objective lens, not a 56, so it's not a low light scope. So I would say that when you look at the price point, this scope is really strong. Honestly speaking, it's phenomenal for 1,900 euros to get a scope like this, and I believe a lot of people will use it for long range hunting, because with the 24 times magnification you don't need the spotting scope anymore to judge the animal or to see the target better. When I speak about the competitors, I will also say there is a lot of similar scopes in F-class and tactical segment, but they are not meant for hunting, and this one is. And this one is hunting oriented. It has a hunting reticle, German 4, it has a hunting illumination, only center dot illuminated and so on. So they're really in the class of their own. There are not many competitors now in the market which would directly compete with this scope. So my final thoughts, I would say you get a really decent scope for its price. It has no real competitors. It has 10 years warranty, and we know that even afterwards Steiner is famous for superb after sales services. So if you will need in any way any kind of servicing or something like that, you will be covered by Steiner, and this is something what is substantially important. All in all, I will also say that this is probably one of the strongest scopes in the whole series, because 1 to 8 has many competitors, and many 1 to 6 scopes are equal to it in terms of optical performance and cheaper. 2 to 16 model is also very strong, but still has competitors, while this 3 to 24 by 56 is almost alone in its own class. And if you're searching for something for long-range hunting and 2,000 euros, this is probably the best pick. Okay, so thank you for watching. I hope you found this review useful, and see you in the next one.